NL investigates after nearly 50 people were charged for their alleged roles in a $250 million COVID relief fraud scheme based out of Minnesota.
U.S. attorneys say the group exploited a federally funded child nutrition program. Valley News Team's Nishay Taylor has the latest.
The scheme that began with a simple idea in March of 2020 grew to become the largest pandemic fraud in the United States.
47 defendants have now been charged for scheming tens of millions of dollars worth of COVID-19 funding.
The defendants obtained over $250 million from the child nutrition program through Feeding Our Future.
Federal prosecutors allege the defendants set up separate companies through the nonprofit Feeding Our Future to defraud the federal program.
The government probably needed to be a little bit more careful and kind of vet out who they were giving money to.
The defendants are also accused of then using the money to buy things like luxury cars and property. U.S. attorneys say they've so far managed to recover about $50 million, but Joe Irby, a Moorhead-based attorney, says it could be hard to get it all.
What would end up happening is essentially a lot of those assets would get frozen, and then the government or whoever was giving out the money would get those things back, sell them, and try to recoup as much as they could, actually get. It's kind of a long process to do that.
But why was it so easy for these individuals to even get the scheme started?
Anybody can set up a nonprofit, and you can do that in a matter of minutes.
Irby believes the government's lack of oversight may be to blame.
I mean, you're seeing stories now where they're just having to give away whatever money they have left, and they're having to try to figure out where to spend it. And so there just really was no oversight, as far as who they were giving money out to.
Irby says going forward, the government's vetting process may be more demanding.
They may ask a few more questions. They may, want to verify that 501c3 status before, giving money out. One bad apple can ruin the whole bunch. It's tough to see that their job might become more difficult, or it might take longer to help somebody, because there may be some extra steps involved.
In Moorhead, Nishay Taylor, Valley News Live.
And as this investigation continues, more arrests may be coming.